just right off the bat, thank you to all of you who have sent me private messages, who have, in your comments, asked me if I'm okay, if I'm coming back. And yes, I'm okay, and yes, I'm back. My life has been absolutely crazy for the past really couple of months. And I've been wanting to let you know what's going on, but I just haven't had time to film any videos. I have watched a couple of videos a day, short videos. I've commented occasionally on some of them, but I've read every single comment that you've written on one of my videos, but I just have not honestly had time to sit down and dedicate any time to YouTube. Let's sort of go back. I think it all started when Bagel died, and although Bagel had been really sick for the past year, we just were not expecting her to die right then. We were planning a big trip to Memphis from Florida for our granddaughter's high school graduation celebration. It was a whole weekend of celebrations, and we were scheduled to leave on a Thursday. From the graduation, we were going on to our home in Arkansas to meet with 3 different realtors that we had appointments with to list our home. We wanted to interview 3 realtors and then make a decision on who to list it with. Well, the Tuesday before we were to leave on Thursday, I realized that Bagel for the past couple of days was just not doing well. There was just something that I could not put my finger on, and I told Jim, I'm not comfortable. I am just not comfortable taking her, for 8 hours in the car and then having her subjected to all of the festivities that were going to be going on, people in and out of the house, the parties, the excitement. But I just felt like I needed to take her to her doctor, for her doctor to tell me that that was okay. We knew we couldn't board her. Well, I made the appointment, went in on Tuesday, and almost immediately her doctor found a huge mass about that big around on her little liver. It was as big as her liver, that she had not felt 2 months before when Bagel was in. And she immediately told us that, of course, this has to be your decision, but this is bad. This is bad. There's really not anything we can do. So luckily Jim went with me because he was so concerned about her too, that he went with me, and we had to make the agonizing decision that morning to end Bagel's little life. And for those of you who have ever lost one of your little fur babies, you know what we went through. So we did that, and then we drove to Memphis on Thursday, and the weekend was so wild and crazy. We knew, we had talked about it on the drive up there, that we were not going to ruin our granddaughter's weekend, and that we could not talk about Bagel, and we needed to be real careful about our grieving in front of people, because it was such a happy celebration for her and her family and her friends. We did not want to bring that down. So we had to reserve, late at night, laying in bed, our grieving. That's when we were able to just talk about it, the two of us, and grieve Bagel. We went on to Arkansas. A few days later, we met with the three realtors, and before we could call back one of the realtors to let them know that we had selected them to list the house, a friend of ours let us know that they knew someone who was looking, and they were very interested in our house. So they bought the house. It sold without ever going on the market. And we were hoping that it would sell furnished, and it did, except for just a very few items that we wanted to keep. And I'll show you some of those things in a later video and I'll show you how I've incorporated them into our decor here. We had to go back. We had obligations here in Florida, so we had to come back. But then we had to go back to Arkansas. And by the way, that's a 12 to 13 hour drive depending on traffic and the time of day. So we had to go back and clean out all of our personal items. And that was, all of the drawers, the closets, the attic, the basement, the garage, anything that was truly personal, we had to get out of there. Jim had the forethought to order a dumpster, and the dumpster was put in our driveway, and we literally filled that dumpster up. By the time we pulled out of there with our U-Haul loaded with our personal things that we were bringing back here, that dumpster was overflowing, literally overflowing. I went in my closet. I packed up probably 14 or 15 of those great big black plastic 30-gallon trash bags with clothes, just clothes. I donated those. I also donated about 15 or 20 pairs of shoes and probably 10 or 15 handbags. I literally threw out every piece of makeup and skincare that I had left in Arkansas. My thinking was that I had not used it in a year. It was old. I probably didn't like it that much anyway if I didn't care enough about it to bring it down here, or maybe I had replaced it. So I threw away all of that makeup and skincare, and there was a lot. Boy, these glasses are dirty. I threw it away. I'm funny about donating used makeup. I would rather go buy new stuff and donate it. I just have a real issue with sanitary problems with makeup and skincare. So I know that there are exceptions, but I did throw all of that away. The only thing I kept was my collection of Bare Minerals eyeshadows, because I do have a very large collection of those, and I haven't used them in a long time. I may wind up getting rid of those too. I brought them here, but I may wind up getting rid of them. So we have been trying to incorporate everything that we brought back into this house. For those of you who have seen a tour of this little condominium, and it is a small condo, you'll remember what I call the little blue room. It's the small bedroom off of our kitchen that is blue. And we literally loaded all of the boxes, everything from the U-Haul into that room. My intention was to close the bedroom door, and then as I had time, I would pull a box out, unpack it, figure out what to do with it, and eventually get that room cleaned out. Well, guess what? we had help getting all those boxes in, and they were put in such a way that I couldn't close the door. So you can see it from the living room, you can see it from the dining room, from the kitchen. So that has been my main focus, is trying to get all of that cleaned out so that that room is presentable again. We have a small storage room up on our roof. I'll take the elevator up to it. So Jim put shelves up there, and we've been just up and down, getting stuff up there. I've reorganized my closet, and because I had a huge walk-in closet in Arkansas, huge. It was like a small bedroom, and Jim had a separate closet. So, and here we share a very small walk-in closet. So we did some creative thinking and figured out a system, and when I get everything done, I'm going to show y'all what we did, because it was so easy that if you're in a situation where you're really lacking closet space, it might be something that you might want to do to a degree, and it would be very inexpensive to do it. So I'll share that with you in another video. We brought, one of the things that we brought down here was the old farm table that was in our dining room. We both loved it. It came from England, and it's from the 1600s. So it was something that we absolutely did not want to get rid of. And again, for those of you who have seen videos where I've filmed in the house there, you've seen that table, and you saw the bentwood chairs. Well, we knew that the bentwood chairs just would not work here. Number one, they were too big. So we purchased new chairs, we ordered new chairs, and I'll try to insert a picture here of the table with the new chairs. Just changed the look of that table completely. We also brought in, again, those of you who have seen those old videos know that we had that fireplace in the middle of the room that went straight up to the vaulted ceiling, and really up high was a huge piece of stained glass, and it came out of a church, an old church in Ireland. So those are the two main pieces that we negotiated that we would not include in the sale, and so we brought that here, and we had to have help, but we got it hung, and it will be there forever because of the way it's hung, pretty much. But I'll try, in the picture that I have either already inserted or am inserting, you can see that piece of stained glass too. So you can sort of see where we're going with this decorating thing. So 2 days later, we get back to Florida. Everything is all packed up in boxes. This place looks like a train wreck. We had scheduled a trip to DC to visit Jim's youngest son and his wife. And back when Bagel was still alive, when we first planned this trip, we had asked a really dear friend of Jennifer's, my daughter, if she would like to come down and take a vacation and house sit. She could stay here free if she would just house sit and, just keep an eye on Bagel, feed her, water her, take her out, but, she certainly didn't have to stay here in the house with her all the time. She could do her own thing, but mainly just house sit and Bagel sit for us. She's a veterinarian, and she just jumped on the idea of doing it and made her plans to get off. Well, we got back 2 days later. She came in, we were scheduled to leave, and we were only going to be in DC for about 4 days. Our flight canceled early that morning when we were getting ready to go to the airport. We decided to check email before we left the house, and sure enough, we had an urgent message from Southwest that our flight had been canceled, and we were not able. Everything was sold out for the next 2 days, so we were not able to get another flight out of here. So we did not get to go to DC, and she had just come in, and she came in with the understanding that she was going to be here by herself with Bagel, and so we knew we had to get out of the house. So we planned a really quick little trip. We drove down to Apalachicola, which is the oyster capital of the world. I think I have filmed down there before. It's the quaintest little old fishing village. So we stayed at a little inn that we had always said we would stay at. And then the next day we drove up to, I think it's Wakala. It's a park, a state park just south of Tallahassee. And it has they claim the largest, deepest freshwater spring in North America. And it was absolutely beautiful. We stayed in the lodge there and just had a great time, and then took our time driving around. We went back to St. Mark's and toured the old lighthouse that was pre-Civil War. Just had a great few days. Came back to our home here in Florida and had a real nice visit with our friend. Of course, she didn't get to keep Bagel, but she tells us that she had a great time while we were gone, and that's what we wanted for her to do. Since then, we've had company, and it just hasn't stopped. It just hasn't stopped. We've either been gone or we've had company. And when I tell you, I check my email on my phone. As I said, I've watched a couple of YouTube videos. I've replied. It's just been crazy. It's been crazy. Being gone from YouTube, I will tell you that being gone has made me seriously consider giving up my YouTube channel. I've never really considered giving it up until these past few weeks. And I can truly understand how those people who do stop doing videos, I understand it. It's almost like the longer I've been away from it, the easier it is to let go of it. But there is something still in me that tells me that this is something that I need to do. I've said for so long that I'm the oldest person doing videos here on YouTube. I also, during this time frame, had a birthday. It was my 73rd birthday. 73. 73. I don't even know how 73 happened. How did it happen? I don't feel any different. 73. And I truly believe that our age group, the 60 pluses, 70s, 80s, even 90s, we're not being represented here on Facebook. We're just not. I think that we are we're on the fringes maybe of being recognized by the brands and by the media, but we're a long way from being truly recognized as an age group or as a demographic that is truly viable. I've said this before. There are bunches of us out there, and we have money to spend, and yet the brands, for whatever reason, are just not coming after our money. They're hoping that we'll spend money on all of the products that they're putting out for what they're calling the mature woman, the 50-year-old, the 40 and the 50-year-old. So I'm starting to see, and I bet you are too, fringes, just fringes of maybe some recognition that we're out here. And I think that it's probably going to be through women like me and who are this very, very aging woman who still feels like she is relevant. And I know you're out there because I know you talk to me about it. I am, and again, I've had time to really and truly think about all of this. As busy as I've been, the wheels have been turning. And I've been thinking about the direction. If I stay on YouTube, still doing my vlogs and showing you the beach and riding in the car and taking you on some of our adventures, but I want to talk to you about issues that not even the 50-year-olds and the, as I've said, the early 60-year-olds haven't experienced yet. But they're real life issues that those of us who are at least 70 plus are going through, have gone through for centuries. But for those of us alive in this day and time, how it really feels to be 70 plus, to be considered elderly. When you're in your 40s and 50s and even your early 60s and you're still looking good and feeling good, you still don't know it. You still don't know what you don't know. That's it. You don't know what you don't know. You can't empathize with us because you haven't felt it before unless you're there. You can't put yourself in my shoes, in my body, unless you've been there before. So I think that's going to be the new mission for my channel going forward. Is there's going to be fun stuff. I have some cooking things I want to do and some craft things I want to do, and I want to do more style type videos so that you can see how I dress as a 73-year-old, because how I dress as a 73-year-old is not the way my daughter dresses, or necessarily even a 50 or a 60-year-old dresses. There are some exceptions, but not a whole lot. How I can wear my hair, how I do my makeup. I want to talk more about the process of getting to be a truly, truly aging woman. And I'm even thinking ahead. As I've been thinking about this, I'm thinking ahead. Okay, I wonder if when I'm 75 or 78 or 80, if I'm still going to be doing YouTube videos, if there's going to be a need for me to do YouTube videos. And I'm wondering how everything is going to change as those ages get closer and closer and closer and come faster and faster and faster. So, as I said, I know from all of you who leave me comments and send me personal messages that many, many, many of you are my age and older. And you're wanting a representative of you. So that's what I'm going to do. I've made the decision. I'm going to stay with it. I'm just going to take it month by month, year by year, see how it goes, and we'll just all truly, truly, truly figure out how to age together and how to feel good about the decisions that we make for ourselves about this aging process. So I guess the good news is I'm back, and hopefully you're going to see more regular videos, because I have a lot of things going on in my head that I want to talk to you about and show you. So, and you know, the thing is, I have had so many of you younger women who consider yourselves mature, but you're still younger, tell me that I'm your inspiration. That I make getting older not quite so scary for you. So I feel like you're going to like these videos too. I hope so. I hope so. Thank you, thank you, thank you for staying with me, not forgetting about me. Thank you for subscribing. I'm so sorry that I was not able to answer your comments. I just had to make choices about being with my guest and being on the road and traveling and grieving Bagel, packing, making a major move. I've had to make choices. And unfortunately, YouTube had to be down low on my list. And I know that you understand that. I know that you understand it. And I thank you for understanding it. So again, thank you for subscribing and staying with me. Thank you for the thumbs up and the sharing. I find when you share my videos that you may not be my age, but you know women who are my age. It may be your mother. It may be your grandmother. It may be your aunt. You may know women who are in my age range who need women that they can relate to as they transition through this period of their lives. So it's always good when you share my videos. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thanks again. Don't forget to go out and be kind. Just be kind. The kinder you are to other people, the kinder people will be to you. Make someone's day today. I always tell you little stories. I was standing in line at TJ Maxx the other day to pay, and I was standing behind this gorgeous woman. Her hair was real long. It was straight. It was salt and pepper, and I just saw her from the back. I loved her outfit. She had on a real loose linen, boxy type top that came down over her hips, white, and white linen, big-legged pants and some little sandals, and I just saw the silhouette from the back. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I would just love this woman. I just love this woman. And I couldn't see her face. And I reached up and I lightly tapped her on the shoulder, and she turned around, and I knew she was in my age range. She was beautiful. Her face was as natural as she was dressed. She was definitely in my age range, had very little makeup on. And when she looked at me, I said, "I'm so sorry." I said, I was standing behind you and I saw just how you look from the back, and I love your hair. I love the way you're dressed. And you turned around and you're absolutely beautiful. And she smiled real big and she said, "Thank you." She said, "I just had a little while." She said, "My daughter's in front of me. We had a few minutes before my doctor's appointment. I just recently had a double mastectomy. Thank you." And we just stood there and we chit-chatted and we interacted. And it was her turn to pay, and she paid, and we waved bye to each other. And I'm sure I'll never see her again. Life is about moments. And that's a moment I'll never forget. It wasn't that I was trying to be kind to her. Oh, I'm just going to pick her to be kind. And I think when I made up in my mind originally to start this kindness thing, I really had to intentionally do it. But now it's just gotten to be second nature with me. I don't even think twice about it. I just automatically compliment or try to be sweet or nice to total strangers. And it's gotten to the point with me that it's just second nature. But it's the moments. It's the moments. We never know who's going to touch our lives. And we never really know the lives that we can touch. So go out and be kind. If that's something that's foreign to you, just force it. Just force it a few times. It'll become easy. It'll become second nature. You'll catch yourself doing it without even thinking about it. I promise you will. I promise. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Love you. Bye-bye.